Hey folks, welcome back. I am up in my garden. I've been mowing my garden, folks. I've been mowing between the rows, and there's only so much I can do, and that's what I've chosen to do this year. Is I took the raised beds apart, right? The dirt is still mounded up, staying right there, holding pretty good. And in between the rows, I have decided to mow. Not very traditional, I'm sure, but that's the way it's gonna be, and it's actually working, folks. I got rid of the slugs 2 weeks before I started planting. I put out a whole box. I have a pretty good garden area, and I put out a whole box. I sprinkled of Corey's slug bait, and by jingas, that worked pretty darn good. So the garden is looking pretty good. My hops are looking pretty good, as you can see right here. I don't know if you can see that. They reach the top of the trellis, which is, I should measure that, but it's about 12 feet. And I've been taking those little scraggly ones and just running them along the top of the trellis with a stick. It works. It works. I haven't done it for a couple of days. It usually is a every day or every other day chore. So everything is good. I hope everything is all good with you. We've had some extremely hot weather here. We've had some extremely humid weather here. And still things needs to be done, right? The brush needs to be cut, the lawn needs to be mowed, the garden needs to be hoed, the garden needs to be weeded. I was not going to plant potatoes this year, but then I had some left over from last year, so I just threw them in the ground about, I think, a week ago, folks. So, but they're already popping up through, so looks like they're good. Everything is looking good except for my Swiss chard. The geese I found like the Swiss chard, and the mustard. Remember the container of mustard seed that I spilled? The geese really like those too. I let them have it. So in the mustard bed, I planted some beets. I'm staggering my beet plantings. And in my Swiss chard, I don't know what I'm going to plant there because they ate the last one today. So I'm just going to work that bed over and plant something in there a short day, right? So this is the first time ever that I think that I've started seeds, my cabbage seeds, in the ground instead of starting them inside and transplanting them outside. And so far, so good. The geese have left them alone. We'll see what happens, right? I will post a picture in the beginning of this of my Muscovy hatch. I had one female left, right? And she was sitting on 11 eggs, and all 11 eggs hatched. So she's got some cute little baby ducks. So that saved my duck flock. So I mowed. I've fertilized all my trees. I fertilized all my bushes. I finished mulching everything. Now, when I mow my lawn, I have a mulching lawnmower. That way I can run right over the brush, right? And I also have a mulching bag. So when I mow, I collect the grass clippings. And once the plants get established, like my bean plants, I'll just let those clippings rest for a few days, maybe 2, maybe 3. And then I will mulch around my bean plants, which I've already started doing. I am doing a trial potato, 3 trial potato patches. Instead of doing the sawdust method, Uh, I've got to apologize, folks. Some of you that have seen my old channel, how I planted potato, how I came up with and created a way that works of planting potatoes in sawdust. I was going to uh, put those two videos, two or three, I don't know, it was a small series at planting time, and I never thought of it until I was planting my potatoes this last week. I apologize. So if I can find those videos, I will put it under this video here, the links to my old channel and how I come up with a way to grow potatoes in sawdust. So this is the first year that I have not done that method. I always experiment, folks. This year I am going to see how it works growing potatoes in just aged chicken coop litter. We'll see. That's it. I put the seeds in there and just in the compost, and I will also mulch with compost and use grass clippings. That's all I'm going to do with that batch over there. So far they look really healthy. It might be a little bit too much nitrogen. I might have monster potato plants. We're going to see. And again, I wasn't going to plant potatoes, so anything that I get is going to be a bonus. So the other ones are just done the traditional way, just right in the dirt. I do not like to dig up dirty potatoes. That's why I started growing in sawdust, which they come out really clean. So we'll see. We'll see. So I guess that's it. I just wanted to pop in and say hello. I'm still alive. Everything is good. Everything is wet up here. Everything is... Actually, it's pretty cool. It's supposed to get down to 52 tonight, which we haven't seen 52 degrees in a few weeks. So that's going to be nice and refreshing. We've had a mix of hot weather, extremely hot weather, really muggy, which burned, sun-scalded a lot of our plants here in Maine. But we've had enough rain that we've had the heat, we've had the rain, mosquitoes. We just need more sun. We need more sun, folks. So this year I did what I said I was going to in another video, is I'm going to plant mostly shade-loving plants, which I have. But, you know, I'm still experimenting, and I am gambling planting my tongue of fire shell beans. I've got 2 long rows of those. I really like my tongue of fire shell beans. Plus I've got my pole tongue of fire shell beans down on the other side, right, way down. So far the tongue of fire shell beans, even though they're close to the woods, they're getting enough sun. I think just enough sun. They're getting the temperature that they need. They're getting the moisture that they need. They're looking pretty good. So everything took a growth spurt. Everything took a growth spurt, including the mosquitoes and including the deer flies, folks. That just comes with the territory. You know, if it's raining, I was mulching and side dressing a lot of my apples, my plums, my pears, my nuts, my everything. Today in the pouring rain, I'm still a little damp. My hair is still a little damp, but it felt good. It was warm. It was really hot and humid, but the rain was like ice cold. I thought there was sleet in it, folks. I really did. I thought there was hail, but it wasn't. So everything jumped. Everything jumped. Everything is growing pretty good. That is growing. So I replanted my carrots yesterday, and the reason I did that is I had 4 or 5 packages of carrot seed that were so old. I think one of them was marked 2017. So I just took all the partial carrot packages, old, and put them all into one container, and then just sprinkled them on, covered them up a little bit, kept them wet, and even during that hot spell, they were still damp, but only 2 came up. So I planted some more yesterday. We'll see. We'll see how they do. It's not too late. They're 65 days. And carrots you can eat up, even up here in Maine, folks, you can keep right in the ground throughout the winter as long as you put some hay or some straw or a bunch of leaves on it. They can stay right in there, so I'm not worried about that. So, you know, when something doesn't come up, when the weather doesn't cooperate, remember last year we had all rain here last year and it was cold. You do what you do, and then when you can't do anymore, you just walk away, right? Which is what I ended up doing. But this year, even though certain things didn't come up, and then I had geese up in here eating those little seedlings, you just replant. You just replant, and then everybody's always got something that only takes a few days, right? Radishes, if nothing else, right? I like pickled radishes myself. I really do. So I guess that's it. Basically, I'm just mumbling. I come on to say hello, show you my new addition to the flock, those 11 babies. And Danae, if you see this, I dug up, actually I pulled up 6 nice, real nice second year burdock root. 6 of them. I pulled them right up, folks. I just pulled them right up. I had to take both hands and grip with all I had and pull right straight up with everything that I had. But I pulled them up and they did not break. It was in pretty fertile soil. So, Danae, I am going to, this weekend, I am going to have myself some burdock root, sauteed burdock root. And if you've, folks, if you have never had burdock root, which is, the Japanese called it wild gobo. They call it gobo. Basically, our burdock here in Maine is wild gobo. It's burdock, but it's the same thing. It's just the wild version. But I can guarantee you it's pretty delicious to eat. It is. It is. I wash mine up really good, and I peel mine, and I slice them probably about the thickness of a nickel, and I put them in a pan with some butter, salt, and pepper, and I stir fry them. And you can also candy them the same way. They're really good, folks. So I'm pretty pleased to say that I am going to have my burdock root for the first time in a couple of years. I can't believe how easy those were to pull up. Usually, if you like burdock, you have to really work to get that burdock because they've usually have a long taproot. I'll eat them up. I will this weekend. I'll eat them up. I'll eat them up all by myself. They're really good. So if you've never had it, the taste is similar to a very sweet parsnip. They look like a parsnip. They taste like a very sweet parsnip. And if you candy them, they taste like, they really do. They taste really good, folks. So anyway, I'm going to go put my feet up. I was moving some brush, by the way. I was moving some brush, and I found a hornet's nest. I got stung once. That's it. The week before that, I got stung by a bumblebee, and the week before that, I got stung by a mud dauber. So it never fails, folks. I'm just thankful that those that I got stung by are not the ones that I am allergic to. But I carry my little thing with me. So if I get stung by one that doesn't cooperate with my system, I'll just, you know, put 5 of those under my tongue, let them dissolve, and sit right down and just relax. So we just can't be willy-nilly about things. We just can't forget and go for a walk without a radio, right? We just can't go moving brush without some form of epinephrine, right? We just can't do that, folks. We can't run a chainsaw one-handed and not pay attention where we're cutting. We just have to be very careful. We have to be prepared, just like everything else in this world, right? So anyway, this is 15 minutes long, so I am going to head out. Thank you so much for stopping by. Thank you for continuing to be here. Thank you for all the nice comments. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. You all have a good night. I'll see you next time. Bye.